Okay, so welcome to our science talk, everybody. I'm really happy you're here, and I'm so excited to talk about this phenomenon. Today we're going to discuss a phenomenon in our kindergarten class. Okay, oops, let's try this again. Am I screen sharing still?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so before we dive in, we're going to discuss a phenomenon. Do you guys know what a phenomenon is? Can anybody tell me what a phenomenon is?
Something that we wonder about.
Something that we wonder about. Excellent. Well, we're going to talk about a really interesting phenomenon, and I'm wondering if you've seen it. So before we dive in, I want you to you to think about what you wonder, and I want you to remember what you see and notice. It's important during this discussion that you ask any questions that you have, and that if you have an answer, make sure you give thoughtful answers and be prepared to give reasons for your answers, okay? Remember that you can agree, you can disagree, and you can add to ideas, and everything is accepted, all right? We're happy that you're here, and we're gonna discover a lot, okay? So as we watch this video, it's gonna be a short video, be sure to remember the things that you see and the things that you wonder, and we're gonna talk about those things that you notice. I'm gonna skip a little bit. Okay, so what did we see in that video?
I saw a puddle disappearing.
A puddle disappearing.
Me too.
What else did you notice? What were the conditions like outside?
It looked really, really bright.
Bright. Where do you think that brightness came from?
It looked really sunny.
Sunny.
It looked like the sun would have been really hot on that sidewalk or that parking lot.
Great, great. Thanks for noticing that, Justin. I really love, you guys are really good observers. So I was wondering, where do puddles come from? Where do you think they come from? That one came from somebody dumping it on the parking lot. But where do puddles come from?
Rain.
Rain. Awesome. So let's see. Matt, is it Matt? Oh, no. So what do you think happened to the water?
I think that the concrete soaked it up like a sponge.
Why do you think that?
Because it almost kind of looked like it was kind of like going down. Like it looked like the middle was wetter than the outside. So it almost looked like it was drinking it.
Oh, it looked like the concrete was
agree with
drinking the
her.
water. Excellent observation. I really like your thinking on that. And does anybody have anything to add on to that? Or maybe does anybody disagree with that? Go ahead.
I think maybe there are some cracks that it went into, and there were cracks on the ground, and the water went down there.
Okay, so one idea is that the water is soaking in like a sponge. Another idea is that the water is falling into the cracks. Do we have any other ideas?
I think that maybe the sun was evaporating the water because when I spill water on my car, it doesn't soak in, but it still disappears.
It doesn't soak in, but it still disappears. So Justin said a really great word. Did anybody hear a kind of a big word that Justin said? Go ahead.
Disappear.
Disappear. Any other big words?
Evaporate.
Evaporate. Who can tell me what evaporate means? Justin, can you tell us
It
more
goes
about?
away.
Oh, it goes away. Where does it go? Where could it?
Into
Somewhere
the
in.
air.
Into the air. That's great. So we've talked about three main ideas, three main thoughts about where that water went. One thought was that it soaked in like a sponge. Another thought was that it fell into the cracks. And another thought was that because the sun was so bright, the water kind of evaporated and went into the air. So I'm wondering, let's see, does anybody have any, I guess, has anybody changed their mind on any of their ideas?
I think it went into the air, like Justin was saying. I agree with that. I think the sun took it into the air.
The sun took it into the air. Oh, great. I wonder why. Is the sun cold? Is the sun warm? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that when it rains, the sun is crying, and then it's taking the water back.
Oh, it's
It
taking.
wants-
Okay, the sun is crying. That's an interesting thought. I've never heard that thought before, but I think that's a fantastic thought. So, as we wrap up this discussion, we've thought about some really good ideas. One big word that came out was evaporation, and I think we're off to a good start about learning about where puddles go. So, does anybody have any other questions about puddles, about where that water goes? Awesome. Now, I want you to think. Now, you don't have to do it today, but I want you to think. If somebody were to ask you about a puddle, how would you explain it to them? So, as we close this discussion, I really want you to think about how you would explain where puddles go to your mom or your dad or your brother or sister at home. So thanks for your input, thanks for your questions, and thanks for your thoughts. You guys did a really good job talking about where puddles go. And that's the end of our discussion.